Okay, howdy there. So this is Kiram with MassiveEffectMarketing.com. We take your website from this to this, and we're taking a look at a website right here down in Perth, Australia. And if you glance at this, you might think, oh, okay, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, that's nice. Well, you would be wrong. There's a lot wrong with this site, and I want to talk about websites that are made by professional web design companies and how even they are insufficient and are a joke, basically. So let's just take a look at this one. Also, oftentimes, once a website is built, the client will have things modified later, which then make the website worse. So we don't know how much of this was done after the original design. But let me just show you what's wrong with all this so that you can have some judgment for your site. So we come here, we've got a good navigation, a nice logo, although it's a tad bland, but it's decent. Got our nice navigation here. Buttons are a little bit out of order, but all in all, pretty decent. We've got, the hero shot here and a pretty decent value proposition. It could be worded better, but it's not too shabby. It could definitely be clearer. And then we scroll, we've got a whole bunch of text, which is a little bit much to be consumed. Then we just have some images and a footer. So websites like this are just everywhere these days. They just have a navigation, a banner, a bit of text, a couple photos, footer. It is terribly inadequate. And you wouldn't know that unless you were a pro. And a lot of web designers are going to make you a site like this. They're just going to make the navigation, a big, throw in some words, have you write the copy, throw in a couple pictures for your services and a footer. And if you don't know any better, you might think, oh, okay, yeah, I guess my website's done. Yeah, we're good to go. No, not at all. This is not even a website. This is not even a flyer. It's basically just a business card. And this was fine 20 years ago, back in the early 2000s. You saw websites like this, super duper simple, just a little bit of info, and that was it. But that's no longer adequate at all. There's 1.9 billion websites online, an extra 500,000 being built every day. And you have to make them a lot better these days. So this just won't cut it. And we don't know how much they charge to make this site, right? The web design company. The website is, if we press Control U to open up the source, it's a Squarespace website. So no, it's WordPress. All right, so it's a WordPress website. It's basically a WordPress template, just slapped together. I mean, something like this could be made in a couple hours max. Just the homepage design, the inside pages will take longer. But this really doesn't give you the full treatment. Now you might be thinking, well, why not? Well, it's because oftentimes people land on the homepage and that's the only page of the website they're going to visit. So if that's the only page, you have one shot, it's your one chance to fully enlighten the prospect. And you can't do it with a page like this. There is no enlightening occurring. No one's going to read this text. They might read this, they might look at these photos, and they're at the footer. So you're really losing out if you consider your visitors a flow of water, and then this website would be a strainer with holes in it, and the water is just seeping right through, dripping through, and you're not collecting any of it. It needs to be more like a bucket. And in order to do that, you have to have very thoughtful sections, very intelligently laid out on the homepage, and not just these sections. Another great example is over here. Not only can we not read the logo, and there's basically no navigation. We won't even get into that, but there's no value proposition here. I'm not oriented at all, and this text is unreadable. Photos, a photo and some text, Instagram feed, and a footer. So it's just on and on with these designs, and the more you look, you'll just see the pattern of this is how websites are built often these days by web design agencies, and they're just terribly inadequate. And and these will go for about 1,000 US. You know, you're going to put down $1,000 US for something like this, and I'm not saying you can make something better, because probably not, unless you are really good with Wix or Squarespace, but it's truly inadequate. What you need to do is start from the top and build interest and desire and trust. And when you go to something like this, while this does build some trust, there's no intelligent presentation of data to do that. If you want to see a great book over here, Donald Miller, Marketing Made Simple. It's an awesome little book, and he actually goes over how to lay out a website in order to get sales. Because looking good really isn't the purpose of a website. Yes, it does need to look good and aesthetic, but it has to get you sales. You've got to get income, revenues from your website. In order to do that, you have to know about sales and marketing. So this is a really good book. Highly recommend it. It's only a few bucks. And he goes section by section through your website of how you should lay it out. And you don't need to be a programmer or a coder or anything. You just need to be a businessman, businesswoman, and have a business, and you're going to get a lot out of this. I am halfway through it, and it's really brilliant. I have my own take on things, but I can definitely say, as someone who's been making websites since 2003, that this is some really good data. Because if you don't know, then you're going to end up with an overt product, right? Here you are, the agency gives you your website. Oh, okay, great. And if you don't know anything, then you're going to unwittingly accept a piece of garbage website that's not going to help you with your sales. You will have spent money, and then you're losing more and more money by not having a proper design. So at the end, knowledge is key. So you got to get more knowledge. I highly recommend this book, Marketing Made Simple. And I don't have any affiliate agreement or thing with this author. I'm just reading his book right now and wanting to spread the word. So that is the idea. And an example, of some things that one would want to add. Some of my favorites over here at Life with Paint. Putting some actual statistics. What has the company done? What have they done? How many years have they been in business? You'll find a client will say, no, I don't want text. I just want a lot of photos. What was that one place? Hair. This one. Let me show you another one. You might have a client who's like, I just want to put photos. Great. Let's do that. And this website's an utter disaster. I don't know if this was built DIY or if someone was paid to do this, but it's basically an Instagram feed, and that is just not going to do it these days. You have to have text. See, photos can only communicate so much, right? Like, we get it, all right? We get it. You do the hair and you're going to be beautiful, but that's not enough to sell someone. So you can't rely on photos to do the heavy lifting. You've got to throw in text, and text communicates. Photos can only communicate so much. Someone sees a photo and you have no idea what they're going to think. But when you put text, you are getting a direct communication. So some people might want to shy away from that, but it's just a question of, do you want sales or not? So this is very important, to put the right text on the website that builds trust. Sections like this are key, and you don't see anything like that on these three websites, right? No, it's just photos. These blokes were smart enough to actually put how many years they've been in business. That's very smart. But don't stop there. Why stop there? There's so many other points they can throw in to build more trust. So where were we? Back over here. So that's a great example of a section that's missing. Also, I don't see any of them really featuring the team or the owner. People love to do business with people, and the human element is really important. So on these websites, that's really missing. I think this one had a brief snippet from the owner. But I understand that people want their privacy and anonymity, but if you want sales, people do business with people, and having that human connection helps so much more in getting the the prospect to feel that, you know, you're the right choice for them. So, and of course, the data is being laid out like this is okay. We have a few paragraphs, but you know, this is way too much, right? All of this should be broken down into sections like this that are much more bite-sized, right? So whenever you have huge blocks of text, you want to break them down and make it a little more digestible. And over here, you know, no one wants to read this, right? These are testimonials, but I wouldn't know unless I actually looked at it. When people are skimming through, they don't want to see, you know, blocks of text. You have to style the text. So these testimonials need to be displayed like testimonials, like this, right? Otherwise, it's going to get ignored. So testimonials are a key point in building trust, and in here they're just, you know, just thrown in without any afterthought, just dumped it in, and it's unexpected, right? It's not professional. You want to have things really separated out, and then this is just basically, this website's just an Instagram feed, so probably the worst example on our little trio here. Anyway, got to have your testimonials laid out nicely. Your process is key. People want to know how it works, right? So like for these salons, is there a consultation, right? And then what's involved with that, and then whatever the next step is, and then the blonde treatments, bleach, toning, whatever, styling, and then aftercare, you know, an aftercare briefing on how to stay gorgeous, whatever it is. But making a process section is really important. It helps orient the person because they have no idea what to expect, right? So that's very important, and that's not something you see on any of these sites, right? So those are just some examples of thoughtful sections that are missing from all of these sites and the majority of sites that you see online. So, you know, before you go ahead and, unless you're already an expert in marketing, when you're getting your website done for your small business, you've got to get the knowledge. You got to know before you go. And I highly recommend getting educated. Otherwise, you're going to be given something and you won't know if it's good or not, right? Like, oh, okay, it looks good. Okay, let's go with it. But you won't know unless you are educated. So please educate yourself so you can avoid getting swindled. And anyway, come on down to massiveeffectmarketing.com if you want help. We can make you a brilliant website, and we educate you. Oh, we certainly do. We go out of our way to make sure you get what we're doing with each section of the website. What's the intention? So you are in very good hands. We've built heaps of websites, heaps upon heaps, since the beginning of time. And if you have a site right now, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we can do a little video. We can take a look, see what's good and bad, give you some suggestions, and then you can kind of know what you should do from there so you can start getting more sales, because it's all about getting the sales. It's good, it needs to look good, but it also needs to perform. So go on over to the comments and put in your website, and we'll do a little video for free. Don't worry about it. Also, you should know that we're partnered with a nonprofit rescue team, so if you get a marketing package with us, we'll train a first responder. Isn't that wicked? So help us turn victims into rescuers. We're going to save some lives together. Super wicked, super dope. Don't be shy. Just send us your website. We'll do a little free video audit and give you some knowledge, because you need to know. All right? So until then, thank you very much, and take care.